Recently, with the CoverGirls version 2 drop, we saw Wonder Woman, Supergirl, Batgirl, and Harley Quinn again. Now, none of these are the first appearance, but it begs the question as to whether or not the second appearance of something can ever actually overtake the first appearance if it happens to look better and the community just want it more. In this video, we're going to be discussing the first appearance, how truly significant this is, if the second, third, and fourth appearance can overtake it, and some more. So let's get started. Welcome in everyone, my name's Andy, and I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to come and watch this video on the channel. Just before we get going, if you are enjoying the content and you want to support me further, you can hit that subscribe button. And if you want to support me even further than that, you can join the membership. We now have the second appearance of Wonder Woman, something that was quite sought after, especially since the first appearance was sort of a more cartoonish look rather than one depicted in the comic books and the movies. People have been discussing on Twitter and some YouTube videos as well as to whether or not this Wonder Woman could actually overtake the first appearance Wonder Woman, because it looks better and is just more relatable for what people are after and actually desire. Then can the price actually move in that direction, and is this something we should be paying attention to moving forward when we get second, third, and fourth appearances of new collectibles? Let's talk about the first appearance just tag in general anyway. Now, Veve have been a little bit hit or miss with this at some points. People will still be confused on the matter, and to be honest with you, I don't have all the answers when it comes to it, but from my understanding, first appearance is the first ever appearance of a digital collectible on Veve and in the NFT space as a whole, so being on the blockchain for the first time. However, this hasn't been the case for some things that have got FA, so again, I'm a little bit confused on that front. And as well with the FE tag, which is the first edition, this is more often given to artists, so things like Becky Cloonan, Batman is the first edition, as it's not the first appearance of Batman, but it is the first edition of said Batman from this person. Now again, this can be a little bit confusing. Kind of hope in the future they do a Medium article that tells us exactly what is first edition, what's first appearance, and all that sort of stuff, just to set it clear as day so no one has any issues. But when it comes to things like Wonder Woman here, when it's licensed by DC themselves, this isn't the first edition, this isn't the first appearance. That happened previously with the drop of Wonder Woman and not with this one. So this isn't a first edition or first appearance, just the digital collectible of Wonder Woman. Right now as well, we've got to look at something like the edition sizes, because I believe both Wonder Womans have around 10,000 editions each, and that is quite a considerable amount. But when we go 4 and 5 years in the future from now, when there's probably more Wonder Womans released, I'm guessing by that point, if we're able to have 5, 10, 20, 30 million users, then the 10,000 editions may be upped. Meaning the 10,000 editions we have now isn't actually that significant compared to the number of active users that are on Veve itself. Something I think that is very important to look at is as more are released, the first appearance often becomes more significant as a whole. Because of course, we're probably going to have more Wonder Woman coming out in the next decade or so. I'm guessing we might have 5 or 6 in the next decade. It might even be more than that, who knows. And some of them might even be better than the original or this one that's just been released. It could have animation, it could be used within utility, which definitely could be something separate and could add something significant to it. But at the end of the day, there only ever is going to be one first appearance of something. There's never going to happen again of a second first appearance, as it just doesn't work like that. So yes, just because there's going to be more of them and this one potentially looks better than the first one that was released, the actual significance of it isn't really the same as its true first appearance. And by all means, it's not to say that it isn't going to be worth it and it's not worth picking up if you enjoy it, but what I would say is that if you are looking for something with that sort of significance of this drop, the first appearance is what you really should be aiming at. It's something we've talked about before, but it's called the serial position effect, and it basically means that when we are looking at maybe lists or anything that is happening, we often remember the first and last, and everything sort of in the middle is just a bit cloudy. The primary effect is what happens when you're easily remembering the first of something, and then the recency effect is the ability to remember what has most recently occurred to you. So as of right now, people are talking about the Wonder Woman with her second appearance here because this is the recency effect. But there's other people arguing that using the primary effect, where it is the first appearance and this is the most important out of them all. And as we move further forward, there might be an even better Wonder Woman released in the future. Maybe we get a Gal Gadot Wonder Woman from the movies that we'd recently got, which she would be the most popular character as in recent times anyway, and therefore people would think that she is going to be the most expensive and the most sought after by true collectors in the next few decades. but at the end of the day, she's not going to be a first appearance. She's going to be a first edition, if anything, especially if it's done by an artist, but more likely or not, it's just going to be another Wonder Woman. People will think that that's going to be the most significant because it's the most recent, but at the end of the day, it doesn't have the same effect as first appearance. This can actually be described for basically everything that happens in the market when it comes to Veve. You've all seen the drops in the market when a new drop is going to be coming out. So if you remember back to the Disney drops, things sold off drastically when it happened. When we have dips in the market when something good is coming to Veve, dips in the market happen because people are selling as they want the thing that's coming out right now instead of something that is maybe significant in the past. And this is what leads to the sort of effects that go on and why the market moves in certain ways. Why we actually have to be more logical than emotional when these things come about is that can stop us from making the most profit and actually holding things that will be extremely significant moving forward. I think when we have to be logical about this as well, Veve is in a bubble. You know, everything on the market is above the price that it was sold at. And more often or not, especially on the grand scheme of things, that is quite unsustainable. It's not something that can happen forever. Things released in 5 and 10 years from now will hold the same value as some of the things that are happening in the beginning. So if you're playing the long game here, you have to think about truly what the long game means and what is going to hold its value when everything else doesn't. Because if we have something like a recession, if we have something where people need to get their money out for tax, they're going to sell off the things that don't matter to them as much. And maybe a thing like Todd McFarlane Batman would mean more to them than the second appearance of Wonder Woman. Now maybe to you that might be different and Wonder Woman is your favourite character of all time, but if you're looking for a return on investment, then you've got to be a little bit smarter with that sort of stuff and understanding where you're putting your money and why. I'm going to show you the market at the moment when it comes to Wonder Woman, and we're going to compare it to another one as well, just so we get a better understanding of what we're going with at the moment. As of right now, Wonder Woman is sitting at around 865 gems of a floor price, and that is coming close to around 4 times the price of the Wonder Woman with the second appearance. Now, it doesn't really matter on the rarity with the common and uncommon, but we can see here that the Wonder Woman with the second appearance, although just being released, is going for around 240 at the moment. Its high hit about 310, with Wonder Woman's high hitting at about 1500, I believe. Yeah, close to 1600 back when the rise happened significantly in the market. Now, we have been taking quite a dip over the last coming weeks. That's for a multitude of reasons, but there's nothing wrong with a healthy retraction with what we're seeing. We're still seeing a shift in the prices with what's going on. The first appearance Wonder Woman is still significantly higher than the second appearance, and I believe that will continue to happen. They'll both move with each other as the market rises or falls. Let's take a second example of Spider-Man. It's been out for a little bit longer, and we've had both of them being able to rise and fall for a while. Now, Spider-Man was released before Economy Wiki could actually start tracking the prices of this, but as of right now anyway, Spider-Man the common, the first ever appearance of Spider-Man just in general, is 825 gems at the moment. And when we look at Ben Reilly's first appearance, again, this is still Spider-Man and it's still a first appearance because it's Ben Reilly, but it is not the true first appearance ever of Spider-Man. And we can see this uncommon at 559 gems at the moment. Now, what you could argue again with this and why it's still so significant is that the common Spider-Man was in a set of 5, it had 32,000 editions, and Ben Reilly only had 5,384, which just goes to show how important people put on the first appearance. Again, that's a little bit different because there's 2 first appearances here, because one is Ben Reilly and one is not, but we'll go to something else which is closer to what Wonder Woman was, and that's Supergirl. So if we see Supergirl here, she was the rare and is currently sitting at around 215 gems, and if we go to the Supergirl which was released in season 1 of the cover girls, she's sitting at around 1,180 gems, a quite significant rise in price compared to the FA and non-FA. Some would argue that this third Supergirl that we've got now is way better than the original that we'd got, and the sort of gamified one that we got in the second appearance of her, and this third appearance is said to be the best out of them all, yet is significantly lower than the first appearance. We'll put quite a high rank on first appearance, and this has already been shown in the physical world and something that people are genuinely after. First appearance means a lot, and if we're not paying attention to what we are thinking is going to be the grails over the long run and what true collectors are going to be after when big money starts to continuously come into this place, then we might be being a little naive to the price actions that these could take. Again, if we're going back to things we've compared with before, on first appearance and how they're so significant, then we can look at physical comic books and collectibles just in general that have sold. Amazing Fantasy 15, first appearance of Spider-Man, the top selling comic books in the world. X-Men first appearance, Iron Man first appearance, Hulk first appearance, Fantastic Four first appearance, Thor first appearance, the Avengers first appearance. I could continue with this and showing you why these are the top of the top and why they sell for so much, because their first appearance ever of what they actually are. Top Pokemon card in the world is the first edition Shadowless Charizard, and I'm guessing there's others with the first editions that are truly the best of the best. I want to make this video just to help people understand the importance and significance of first appearance. It's not to say that second, third and fourth appearances can't be amazing, and if utility is added to ones that are released 4 and 5 years from now, it's not to say that they could be worth a lot. But I think when we come to collector side and things like David is actually aiming towards when it comes to Veve, it's for the collectors. And he knows better than anyone that first appearances of something are truly the grails of all grails. And again, it's not to say that Wonderwoman might not be one of the best in the world in the next decade. It may be, it might not be. We don't actually know how this is going to play out. But if we're betting on anything, my bet is definitely on the true first appearance. Not because something looks better or because it has a better design, but because it's the actual significance of what it represents. I would much rather buy the first ever true appearance of Spider-Man with the 32,000 commons than the first appearance of Ben Reilly, just purely because it is truly the first ever Spider-Man in the NFT space. I would love to hear your thoughts on first appearance in general. Does it really matter to you that much when it comes to it, or are you just collecting for the fun of it? Be sure to let me know down in the comments. I know the video on the screen right now will be something you'll love to watch. Have a fantastic day.